Hey, welcome back to the new NFL and fantasy season this year. We're starting off with week one, and I got Logan, Steve, and Will with me. Let's just go around the room real quick and give a quick introduction. Tell them what you guys do for IDP Guys. Logan, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Logan. You can find me on Twitter at Sports Talk Smart. With IDP Guys, I mostly do rankings behind the scenes. I help with weekly rankings, redraft dynasty, all that stuff. I also help this off season with the IDP Guys, helping with the IDP Draft Kit magazine. If you don't have that, recommend getting it before the season gets underway. It's probably the deepest and most involved IDP rankings you're going to find. So, but yeah, I'm kind of a rankings ranking specialist kind of guy. So
Definitely a guru. Steve.
I feel like my computer sucks right now, but I'm Steve Thomason at Dynasty Santa on Twitter. I'm the content manager, and I do a lot of rankings and editing for the site as well.
And then we also have Will.
I'm Will at FF Skinny _ Skinny Chef on Twitter. I do the IDP injury report, and I'm also doing the defensive line rankings this year for us. So.
That's awesome. So as we get the show going on, don't be afraid to drop your comments, drop your questions about any of your start-sit situations, and hopefully we don't have another Cam Akers situation that we saw on Thursday. Right. I know that affected me. And if we were just talking, Logan, if it affected you too. So did Will or Steve have anything like that?
I didn't have any shares of Akers. I am not a believer. I do have a lot of shares of Allen Robinson, though, and that burned me real bad.
Yes, I too have no Cam Akers, so that was pretty awesome, and I was going against him in a few leagues, so that was quite nice.
Yeah. So, well, we're going to start off this show with a couple of the injuries. We're looking at Kittle right now. It looks like he's not going to be playing. So, if you have a backup tight end on your roster, who would you guys be looking at starting?
Komet is someone who's I think is in for a good year this year. He has been going a little bit later, so he's most likely on your as a back. He's most likely there as a backup. He may even be on your waivers, unless you're in a league with some guys who know what they're doing because they're going to grab him and put him on their bench. So he's someone I'd throw in there. I don't think I'd go Ross Dwelly. I would kind of avoid that and find somewhere else to go. But I like that uptick in usage, hopefully for IU, and I think he's in for a good bounce back, solid year.
Yeah, somebody I just replaced Kittle with was Robert Tonyan. I like him as a nice pivot, and I feel like he's available in a lot of leagues too. So with Lazard out, I think Tonyan is a nice pivot if you can still grab him.
Yeah, definitely. I like that Tonyan call. I know in the past we've always felt like Ross Dwelly was an instant throw-in with Garoppolo, but being that you've got I'm going to call him a rookie quarterback, Trey Lance out there, I don't suggest going Ross Dwelly, but if you're playing in leagues like I know most of us play in where it's a lot of smart guys, Dwelly might be your only option. So probably going to end up throwing him out there. I wouldn't be afraid of throwing Njoku out there over Ross Dwelly. Not that I think he's going to do very good, but I think he's got a little more upside than Dwelly does.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Logan.
I was going to say, if you could find, an Alberto or an Irv Smith, maybe Hayden Hurst in that Cincinnati passing attack, he could get something. There's some decent options out there to replace Kittle, I think, that are kind of floating around on a lot of waivers. So,
and then a couple more injuries is one will be Chris Godwin. It sounds like he will be playing on limited snaps. What are your replacements going to be looking like for him?
Oh boy. The biggest issue I think was Russell Gage, right? People want to plug and play him. I'm not on board with that because he's kind of banged up too. So I think you're kind of sitting and waiting to see what happens there. I wouldn't be plugging Gage or Godwin into my lineups if I can help it. And pivoting to guys, I don't know, even Drake London's supposed to play this week. So I know I grabbed him with Godwin in a few leagues. So I feel like Drake London is a guy, if he's playing, well, he is playing. So I would be confident rolling him out there in lieu of Godwin this week, someone like that.
I'm not going to be afraid to throw Julio out there. I know that he didn't get the full offseason playing with the Bucks, but he's a veteran guy. He's solid at what he does, and that's the kind of guy that Tom Brady's going to look to. So I would throw Julio out there. Somebody else that maybe is on the waiver wires if you need like a dart throw. Any of the other Cowboys wide receivers. I think anybody over there has a chance to blow up and have a good game because it's only CD and then Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
So somebody over there is going to have a good game, and I would dart throw any of the Cowboys receivers. I'm partial to Noah Brown. He's been a guy that's been well talked about in past seasons. The only problem that held him back was Cedric Wilson, who is now gone. So.
Right.
Yeah, I like the Julio call as well. I even saw something that they said, he's the Julio that he used to be, which I don't know if I believe that, but if he's even 70% of what he used to be, that's 70% of one of the best wide receivers in our time. So I love the Julio call. I would throw out maybe like a Pickens or a Claypool if you need to, or like an MVS or Sky Moore, hoping that, you don't really know with Tyreek gone behind Kelsey, who's really going to take the lead on that in Kansas City. So you've got a few good options. I mean, if you're even a little deeper league, someone like Kirk's probably taken on the Jags, but you could go Zay Jones. He's probably going to be there too. And Trevor Lawrence is going to have to throw to somebody. He could be okay, like Nico Collins. There's some options down there that I would feel comfortable throwing in, but I really like the Julio call. He's on a lot of waivers. Oh, and AJ Green.
Not AJ Green. Anyone but AJ Green.
I'm okay with AJ Green for the first week. He's a vet guy. He had some good games last year. Moore's out. Obviously Hopkins is suspended. It's going to be Marquise Brown, but I think if you're in a deeper league and need like a fourth, fifth wide receiver, AJ Green will get you a solid 5 for 50 or something. Like I think he'll be involved for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then on the defensive side, are there any players that you're looking at replacing due to injuries?
I mean, I think the big one is Shaquille Leonard.
Right.
Obviously, he's out. I would not be surprised if he's out multiple weeks. We've seen a lot of guys come into the season with back injuries or develop them during season, and they're out several games. It's not something guys play through. So if Okeraki's out there, if EJ Speed is out there, and then there's a third guy that I'm blanking on right now, but if any of those guys are out there, I would snatch them up and run with them.
Zaire Franklin, I think, is the guy.
Yeah, you might be right.
This has been so frustrating, right? Like I thought we had reports that he himself was like, yeah, I'm good. Like I'm going to play week 1 and now out. It's definitely week 1. And like you said, possibly multiple weeks. So, I mean, it's totally wheels up for Bobby Okereke, for sure. I don't know that I mean, yeah, those other two guys who might play for him are nice dart throws, but I'm not really excited to throw them into my starting lineups. Bench stashes, sure, maybe, but they're obviously not nearly the talents that Shaq Leonard is. So I like to think, everyone thinks it's the same thing, plug and play. When these guys are out, and that's just simply not the case. So yeah, maybe go grab them, but I'm not spending a ton of fab, and I'm not plugging them into my starting lineups at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you need a linebacker today because you're just now realizing that Shaquille Leonard is out, EJ Speed might be your only option.
There's got to be better options out there.
So we got a comment from Steve Utes here. Santa hat, Bret Hart shades, Dynasty Santa is fired up for week 1.
Let's go. I am. It's kind of gloomy here where I'm at. So it's taken a little bit to get the motor going. That's why I went full outfit change here. I just wish my stupid computer wasn't lagging so much on me, but hopefully it sounds like the audio is coming through at least. But yeah, gotta start the year off right, have some fun. Let's go.
So Blake Martinez still hasn't signed. It sounds like with any of the teams. So if somebody drafted him looking at starting, what are you guys doing in this situation?
I'm in this situation.
And are you still surprised that he's
So
not
yeah,
on
tell us what
ADP?
you do.
Crying a lot. I was surprised that he got cut initially, but listening to some people out there that are a lot smarter than me, it's not as surprising as I felt like it was in the beginning. He wasn't the right fit for the way the offense rolled there, so it is what it is. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. I'm rolling out Cody Barton in that league and hoping for the best. So
I like that. I like Cody Barton this year a lot.
I don't,
Nice pivot.
to be completely honest, because I think exactly like what Santa said earlier, we're expecting plug and play on Bobby Wagner, and he's not Bobby Wagner.
No, I
Or
think,
Jordan
but
Brooks.
Jordan Brooks and
Yeah.
Bobby Wagner were producing like crazy. So I think Brooks will probably be, the lead, but I think Barton is a great like plug linebacker 3, type of, if you need him for something, I think he's going to be solid because he's also kind of a tackling machine. So Pete Werner, somebody I could throw in there as
Yeah,
just
I like
someone
him.
I've liked. But Demario Davis is obviously still there. He's getting a little old though. He's hasn't really showed signs of slowing down, but it could be this year, and Pete Werner could kind of step into the role a little bit. And I've seen him out there on a lot of waivers. So
Joe Tryon Shoyinka, if he's got LB eligibility, really he's DL, but if he's got LG eligibility, I wouldn't be afraid to put him in. Last season, the only thing holding him back was JPP. And when JPP was out, he was solid. So he actually, as I'm thinking about it, might be a really good waiver ad for anybody needing
that's a nice
linebacker or
pivot.
DL.
Yeah, Cowboys offensive line is decimated too, so that's probably a good call. The Blake Martinez situation, I was definitely surprised because they didn't invest any significant draft capital into linebackers, no free agent signings. They took all of camp to evaluate him and then cut him at like the last possible second. So it was very strange. Now, I did see something on Twitter that was talking about it could have been a financial decision, and it sounds like even for other teams after something about like guaranteed salary and whatnot. So it sounds like after week 1, he's got a much better chance of signing on with someone. I obviously don't know the details, but it sounded like it had a lot to do with the contract and the monetary status. I feel like Joe Schobert is in the same boat too. So yeah, if you've got these guys, I would hang on. I wouldn't cut bait yet. Now, if after week 2 there's still no signing and no playing time, that's when you can start to panic a little. Might consider dropping in redraft, dynasty, maybe dangle him out there for a late round rookie pick. But yeah, it's really surprising. And pivot, I mean, I definitely am more confident in playing Micah McFadden over Tay Crowder from a talent standpoint. Tay Crowder's just awful. He was kind of one of those producers due to just simply being on the field and getting snaps. So it sounds like he might start that way this year. But under the new coaching scheme, if they can't figure out that he stinks and play McFadden maybe more over him, then I don't know what to tell him. And it also sounds like we're going to see a lot more 3 safety looks. So if Dane Belton or Julian Love are out there and you need safety or D-back help, I would throw them on your watch list and maybe try to get them cheap before they do anything this week.
So let's just go down the line until we start getting some questions here. Looking at matchups for today, we got a couple games where it's like revenge games, I guess you would want to call them. You got Baker Mayfield and the Carolina Panthers going against the Cleveland Browns. What matchups are you guys excited about as far as an IDP standpoint?
Really excited. I know this is a chalky comment, but I'm really excited to watch Myles Garrett get to just destroy Baker a little bit.
So mean.
I know. Excited for Myles Garrett. I'd like to see what Brian Burns does this year. He did. I don't think he lived up quite to the expectations we had for him last year. And so I'm excited to see how he comes back this year and what he can do.
Yeah.
So we actually just got our first question here. from
Oh,
Alexander. Trey Lance or Derek Carr? Was thinking Trey Lance because of his legs, but then the Carr game is going to be a shootout. It's a tough call, is what he thinks.
Yeah, wow.
I think you're going to get a good enough game out of Carr that you can wait a week on Lance and just make sure he's, who we hope he is. And like you said, it should be a shootout there with the Chargers' high-powered offense. The Raiders getting Devontae Adams. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot, and it sounds like they don't really like Josh Jacobs anymore. So they'll probably be they'll be throwing the ball. I like Carr this week, and you can wait on Lance. Hopefully, once he starts, once you see it, throw him in there for that upside with the running for sure. But I think Carr's your week 1 play.
Got a second one from Veron. I'm going to guess that's how you say it. Hey guys, Kyle Hamilton is available in waivers. Who can I drop if I'm picking him up? And it's going to be Curl, Quay, Walker, or Malcolm Rodriguez. Would Kyle be a fantasy relevant this year? And it seems like snap counts and rotations.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
I mean, I love Kyle Hamilton, the player, for sure. I don't know that he's right away going to be fantasy relevant. I think down the line, as he gets more comfortable and gets more opportunities to earn snaps, he'll be quite relevant in maybe the second half of the year. I wouldn't have a problem dropping Curl, especially if he's injured right now. I know people love him, but I don't know. He's defensive back is so replaceable every year. I like the upside of both those rookie linebackers and Walker and Rodriguez, and they might be a longer play this year too. So with Curl's injury, if you don't have an IR spot to be able to stash him, I would have no problems dropping him and grabbing Hamilton. Now, if you're looking to plug Hamilton in your starting lineup right away, I would look elsewhere. I would look for other defensive back options for week 1. But if this is like Dynasty or something, he should already be rostered, so I'm assuming it's not. And in redraft, unless you're stashing him on the bench, yeah, I might even look elsewhere than Kyle Hamilton myself.
Yeah, I honestly don't think I would drop any of those guys for Kyle Hamilton, especially in week 1. I think Cameron Curl is probably your better choice at this point, purely because we don't know with Hamilton, and we learned this lesson last year, and I think we need to be mindful of it that rookies don't always produce their first year. We know who Cam Curl is. Yeah, he has a thumb injury. He's not playing this week, but we know who he is, and he can be productive in the right situations. We don't know what Kyle Hamilton's role is going to be for 1. They still have Chuck Clark there, who they like. I wouldn't drop Quay Walker because he's got a ton of upside. And Malcolm Rodriguez, I wouldn't drop him yet either because that situation is real nebulous over there. Personally, I would leave Kyle Hamilton on waivers and just roll with what you have right now.
Then our next question is pick 2, and it's a standard league: Stevenson, Davis, Patterson, Penny.
I think Penny for sure because Walker's out this week.
I like Stevenson in PPR leagues, but standard leagues makes it a little tougher for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Shit, I was gonna say easily Stevenson and Penny, but now, yeah, standard.
I love Stevenson. I have him in all my redraft leagues this year because of his value. I think he's going to be easily return on that 10th round value I was getting him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's all definitely we're all for Penny. I think it's probably Mike, and I'm a
Mike
Davis guy.
Okay.
So definitely a no for me on that one, dog.
I think I'd still go Stevenson though.
Yeah, man. Patterson. So definitely Penny for all of us. Patterson and Stevenson is tough.
I'm going to go Penny and Patterson. It's week 1. Patterson's going to be fresh. He's going to have those nice rested offseason legs. There's not a whole lot of other options out there, especially if London's going to come in a little bit hobbled. I think Patterson could see a good volume again this week.
So Alexander is loving the fact, or he said facts, love Stevenson. So if he had to choose 2, I hear that you guys are between Stevenson and Patterson. Which one would be a safer choice?
I think safer is going to be Patterson, but Stevenson might give you a little more upside just because I think he's a good player. But that the standard league kind of kills it for me for him. I think Penny for sure, and then Patterson, slight edge over Stevenson.
Yeah, I
Is
agree.
that what all three of you are agreeing on?
Yeah, I think so. PP. We're going PP.
AWM is asking for thoughts on Jamin Davis this year. He was a bit underwhelming last season as a rookie, and I'm hoping he breaks out this season. I have him on my bench with Devin Lloyd starting ahead of him. Is that the correct move?
Yeah, I think so.
I agree. Yeah, he's definitely a guy you want to stash and should be rostered to see what he can do. And he was earning snaps kind of down the line. I think he got injured as soon as he was starting to get some momentum last year. So it sounds like he should be the clear number 2 next to Holcomb. So I think he definitely, pays dividends this year. And I think he became a great value. So definitely stash him, but let's just see it. Honestly, Devin Lloyd could be tough too. I kind of want to see him too. But I think he's definitely got the much higher ceiling with the sack capabilities that he possesses there. So and it sounds like hopefully they figure out and use him correctly next to Foye, where Foye is more the traditional thumper, and they deploy Lloyd to go after the quarterback some. So
Marco's back this year.
Oh,
What's
hey,
up,
Marco?
Marco? I hope you have a team like you did last year. It seemed like you were pretty stacked last year, if I remember correctly. He's asking, who should I start at linebacker? Long, JOK, Phillips, Wilson, or Barton, and he needs 2.
Dang.
Really excited to watch JOK play this year. So
Yep.
probably Logan Wilson for sure. He's been a producer like crazy. I like Long. JOK is going to give you the upside, though. I think he's going to be a monster this year if you want to really go for it.
Yeah, I agree there big time. Definitely Wilson, 100%. I think JOK, with his size and speed, he's probably going to be the McCaffrey, what do they call it? Like ghost or watcher tracker. Yeah. So he could rack up a ton of tackles on McCaffrey this game. So yeah, I think he's got some major upside, especially this week.
And then go. Will, do you want to fill in anything there?
I love the JOK call by everybody else. Me personally, I'm going to say David Long or maybe even Cody Barton. I think David Long showed real well for us last season when he was healthy. And so he's healthy now. So he's got that opportunity to show us what he's got. And there's outside of Jeffrey Simmons over there, there's not a lot of other playmakers right now. So David Long's got a lot of opportunity.
Then Marco had a second question as well. It's a half PPR league, and he's wondering between Dotson, Robinson, Palmer, or Tolbert.
I feel like we're all going to be spicy on this one.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think it'll be different from all of us.
You guys fight it out, and then I'll bring it back in. We'll decide on 1 or 2 for him.
So I got to stay true to what I said earlier. Play a Cowboys wide receiver, Jalen Tolbert. He's got as much of a chance as any of the other 3 over there to have some opportunity to score, especially against the Tampa Bay. Yeah, Tampa Bay. And then I'm not sure on that third. I don't like really either of those 3.
No.
I'll say Josh Dotson. Or not. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tolbert's your upside play, and then the other one that gives me a little bit of and is a little intriguing is Dotson. He's pretty much the clear 2 there, so I think you'll see some targets, and he should give you a decent game. But I like Tolbert a little bit more.
I like Wandale. I'm big on him. I think he earned the starting slot role. I think that's very important in a new Brian Dable-led offense there. I think the slot role was pretty important in Buffalo previously. So I know it's definitely going against consensus, but I'm going Wandale on that. I think he matches up well against the Titans defense. I don't know if they have. I think they're pretty banged up in the secondary. So I think he could be a sneaky pick there. So that's why I like.
So we also have two questions from Adam here. Drew Tranquil or Austin? I don't even want to try it because I know I'm going to.
Calitro. Yeah, that's gross. Both are gross, but we have no idea what Calitro's role is going to be, so it's got to be Tranquil if those are your only two options.
I love Tranquil. I think he's got a lot of. He's always been productive. He for whatever reason, the Chargers have not been a big fan of him. And I've been a Tranquil truther for a while now, so Tranquil.
You agree, Logan?
Yeah, Tranquil. You don't know about New York with Calitro. You don't know if he's gonna play much. They put him as a starter, but you don't know.
And then he's also asking. He drafted Blake Martinez 5 days before the Giants cut him. Should he be holding him?
Yes.
Like Santa said, yeah, hold him for a few weeks, and if it's redraft, he doesn't get picked up here before too long. You might need to cut bait.
And it's a 14-team 11 IDP league.
Definitely hold him.
Yeah, hold him. If you have the roster space to hold him season long, I would. Just because at some point, some big name linebacker is going to go down for the year, and Blake Martinez is going to be sitting out there, and he could be a starter at some point. If you need to cut him, at week 5 or 6, don't be afraid to. But if you can hold him, I would hold him as long as possible.
We got a question from Ryan. Pick 2. No, we didn't do this one. Kirk, Marquise Brown, Robert Woods, or MVS. It's a standard league.
I think that's pretty easy for me. Kirk and Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown's going to be wide receiver 1 this week. The other between Woods and MVS, still very shaky situations. Not exciting offense on Tennessee. I think they're going to lean on the run even more with a healthy Henry this year. And Kirk, they signed him to an incredible deal. I think they're going to force feed him targets there. So those are easy for me, Kirk and Brown.
I think I'm going to agree with the Brown call, but I'm going to go against you. I'm going to say Robert Woods. Ryan Tannehill is really good with the play action pass. That's what that offense is running through. Derrick Henry is healthy. By all accounts, he looks good. So there's going to be a ton of that play action. And Robert Woods is a great possession receiver. So,
yeah, I'm going to agree on Marquise Brown for sure. And then I think Kirk's going to make a lot of his splash in a PPR type of situation. But he's going to be the target. MVS is someone who, Mahomes love to throw the ball down the field. So if he's one of your last receivers, and I might be being a Chiefs homer a little bit on it, but
I was going to say weird choice.
when he's, Mahomes loves to throw the ball down the field. So if he's down there and we don't have Tyreek anymore, he's going to make more of his splash on big plays rather than like lots of catches. So if it's standard and not PPR, Kirk kind of worries me. He has a lower floor without that PPR, in my opinion. But definitely Marquise Brown, like Santa said, he could be freaking wide receiver 1 this week. So
totally fair, yeah.
Sean Glaze is asking, is it December already?
What? No.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, baby. Let's go. This is I'm assuming everyone who's watching and playing, this is their Christmas. So let's go.
And it's always sunny in Philly, even during the winter, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right. Alex is asking Denzel Perriman or Shaq Thompson. Was thinking Perriman, but I think Thompson will have a good game against the Browns running attack. Pick 1, and already got Levante David locked in.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's good. Oh boy, they're both such mid options. I know Perryman had his breakout last year, but I obviously I don't think believe, and he, I feel like he's kind of one of those compiler guys. He's not actually very good. Um, I guess I would lean Thompson, especially against, the Browns. I think will probably run a ton today without, having Brissett as their quarterback. So I'll lean Thompson, but it's certainly very close. I don't think they're going to finish very close to each other. So I don't think you can go wrong with either.
I'm going to say Perryman. I think that Raiders team is under new leadership. They made it clear the guys that aren't their guys, not picking up Josh Jacobs' fifth-year option. And Perryman's still there. He didn't make a splash of news about, not coming back around. I think they believe in Perryman, and he's going to have every opportunity this week to show that he's the guy that we were saying that he was 3 years ago.
I think I agree with Santa a little bit. Like, it's going to be very close. I like Perriman. I don't think you can go wrong, but I think it's just most likely the Browns will probably run a little bit more with Brissett, and the Chargers are probably going to end up passing more. So you're going to get a little more opportunity, I think, with Thompson. But Perriman's going to be a great play too. They're both good.
Ryan says, thanks. I was worried about the Saints' rush defense against Atlanta, and I was also worried about the rain today with Kirk, as both teams may run more. Well, Ryan, thank you for leaving a comment, and hope you keep coming back for more advice from us.
Yeah. I mean, just to quickly touch on that, the New Orleans rush defense is tough, but with Patterson, you get the potential for catches and whatnot, and he should still be their goal line guy. So he's got that touchdown upside, especially in the standard. Rain, I like to put this out there when people are worried about it. Rain doesn't really affect passing as much as you would think. The only thing that significantly, and I've seen this from studies, I forget where I saw it on Twitter, but it was like a legitimate study that some like weather fantasy sports account did. And the only thing that really significantly affects pass attempts is wind. Wind and gusts greater than like 15 to 20 miles an hour is really the only thing that significantly affects passing. You would think snow even, but it doesn't. I mean, yeah, it drops it a little bit, but not to the levels that you would assume, like to the drop dead levels. So don't really be concerned about weather for passing unless it's wind. That's the only advice I would put out there.
And you said that's the 15 to 20 mile range.
Yeah, I believe if I recall correctly, it was if there's constant or gusts in that 15 to 20 or greater range, then that's when to be concerned.
Okay. How about fog? If we ever see another fog game like we did a while ago. Marco is asking, should I drop Randy Gregory for Jalen Petrie in Dynasty?
No.
Yes.
If you have to start corners, yeah, I think so. With your defensive backs. He's a safety, never mind. No,
Why
I think
do you want to keep
like
old Randy Gregory?
I like Petrie.
Randy Gregory
he's gonna be
has
a
sack
monster.
upside. Who else is there in Denver right now?
They have a ton of people, unfortunately.
Underperforming Bradley
Benito,
Chubb.
the rookie. Yeah,
Rookie.
Chubb. They converted Baron Browning.
Right. So if
there's
Baron
another
Browning
guy.
is who they said they are, then they have to pick a guy to focus their defense on, Randy Gregory or Baron Browning, right? It's going to free up the other guy, and clearly Baron Browning is better than Randy Gregory.
It's dynasty though, man.
Yeah. But again, like we just said this earlier,
no.
don't put your faith in rookies year one. So we're talking about dropping an old vet at a premium position for a rookie.
An old vet who finally broke out after how many years in the league between injuries and suspensions, and he still, if he didn't get you a sack, he gave you nothing. His floor is 0. So yeah, I like Petrie a lot, and I think in the preseason he was playing all over the place, a lot in the box. So for me, that's an easy drop for me personally. If you're, it depends on the team, right? The construction. If he's weak at D line, maybe you reconsider that for sure. But if you have depth at D line and you're just looking for higher upside guys or higher floor guys, I think it's an easy drop. If you're, shallow in D line, maybe you hang on to Gregory for sure. I don't hate Gregory. I still have him rostered in a few places, but yeah, if you're telling, like, if I'm just looking at straight rankings, I have Petrie miles ahead of Randy Gregory in dynasty rankings. That's for me.
So I have a question for you guys. So if a team has a solid lockdown corner, are you guys looking at targeting the other corner for tackle purposes and point purposes in IDP?
It depends, but yeah, kind of. I mean, that's a good starting place.
Yeah,
to look at least.
I think exactly like Logan said. It depends a lot on who that lockdown corner is, because there are several of them that they're such good lockdown corners that they go the other way, and then there's a few of them out there. Like J.C. Jackson got targeted a lot last season, and the person opposite him was not as productive as we thought he would have been.
Sean Glaze is asking thoughts on Devin Lloyd for IDP.
So open-ended. He could be a superstar. I like him a lot. I think his skill set is incredible. It actually kind of stinks that he landed with the Jags, but my guy Doug Peterson's there now, so hopefully he figures out and how to use him properly and does use him properly per his skill set. Like I said earlier, next to Foyer, if he's being implemented, kind of like maybe like a Devin White to Levante David. Could be the relationship there. So I think Lloyd's certainly got the ceiling with the sack potential. So I think that's his best outlook, but he's also a Jags pick, so he could very easily bust as well.
Hey, Logan, real quick, is this a relation to you?
Yeah, that's my dad.
So you may want to think about how you want to give advice here.
I'm not playing this week, so I can. No, I think what Santa said's good though. His upside, could be in that, relationship similar to what they got in Tampa, with him and Foyer. But I'm not rolling him out week one if I got a better option just to see, because he's a rookie, so you always want to see. But he's not the worst option though for week one even. So I have high hopes on the season, but temper for week one, I would say.
Talent and opportunities there. So we all liked him coming out, going through the draft process. The only thing that hurt him was the landing spot. But even with the landing spot that he ended up in, he's still a starting linebacker. And that's really valuable. So, and they're going against the Commanders, which are not exactly a great team. They got Carson Wentz. He turns the ball over. So it's possible week one that we don't see a lot of the Jags defense because of Carson Wentz's turnovers.
Ryan is asking Eagles or Tennessee's defense.
Eagles at the Lions and the Giants at Tennessee.
Give me Tennessee, but it's close, and I'm an Eagles fan.
I didn't know in Tennessee too.
I'm gonna go Eagles.
The Lions suck.
Yeah, the Lions suck. I like
Giants
the turnover.
suck too.
Yeah, I like the turnover upside for the Eagles defense. As much as it pains me to say it as a Cowboys fan, I think the Eagles did well in their secondary this offseason. And I think that there's some good potential there for it pass deflections, interceptions. So
Logan, your dad's feeling misled by you, just so you know.
Sneaky.
Marco's saying, thank you for the great advice. Hopefully I can repeat the win from last year.
Not surprised he won.
Let's go.
No, I'm not
No,
either, especially with that roster. That was an unbelievable roster he drafted last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, Will, being a Cowboys fan, what do you think Zeke's outlook for the season is going to be this year?
He's going to be awesome. No, I think he's still a lot more talented than people give him credit for. He played through a really rough knee injury last year. He didn't miss a game. Availability is great. He finished his, RB6 last year, which, he didn't impress, but he was there week in and week out for you. This year, he's going to be healthy. We are lacking at the wide receiver position. So we're going to have to use the run game, lean on that a little more than we have in the past. I think once Jason Peters gets acclimated to our system, he's going to really help strengthen our offensive line. And so I think Zeke's got a great opportunity to repeat again as an top 12, maybe even top 5 this season. We'll see what happens.
What do you think of Pollard's role?
They have to. We say this every year, but they have to expand it. And this year, I feel like they really do. He's a great receiver out of the backfield. He doesn't block as well as Zeke, which I think is what's held him back. Zeke's a much better pass blocker. But at some point, you have to start transitioning to Tony Pollard and see what you've got there. So,
and then as far as like in Philadelphia with the running game, is it Miles Sanders going to be the number 1 guy up there? Who's it going to be?
Number 1.
Yeah.
On paper, he's got to be.
Kenny Gainwell, Boston Scott, Trey Sermon. There's a lot of options there.
I think, yeah. Sermon's, I'm not a big Sermon guy, but, they don't, like, their guys aren't great either anyways, so he kind of mucks it up a little bit even more. I was thinking Gainwell was going to be an okay, ADP pick this year, getting him as your, back of the bench guy, might plug and play a little bit, but yeah, I'd avoid that backfield at all costs. If you get Sanders as like your RB3 or 4, that's not terrible, but like I'm definitely not rolling him out as like, any top 24 guy anymore. You can't. And I'm big on his talent too. So.
And then it seems like as far as running backs, especially young running backs, everybody was high on Dameon Pierce. Are you guys all high on Dameon Pierce?
Yes. We
want to see it first.
If you wait to see it, it's going to be too late. We did that debate article between pro and a con, Dameon Pierce, and he's got the opportunity. He's a lot more talented than I think people realize. And Lovie Smith loves to run the ball, and he loves to have a bell cow back. There's tons of examples of his bell cows. I think this is the best opportunity that he's going to have, and I think he's going to succeed for us.
Is he a week 1 start, or is he a wait and see?
I think he's like a back end RB2, so he's not like a horrible play.
Mm-hmm.
But you got him in your flex, I think that's totally fine. If you've got really strong wide receivers and tight end and stuff, he could be RB2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people got him, and when he was no longer a value, so you probably have to start him from where you drafted him.
I wouldn't be surprised if people are disappointed by him week 1. The Colts are a good defense, so they added Ngakoue there. They've got Buckner, Okereke, so he could disappoint week 1, and you could see in redraft a lot of people drop him, and I'd snatch him up real quick if he gets dropped.
Mine came down to Cam Akers or Damian Harris, and I think I picked the wrong running back.
Ouch.
Hopefully see more Akers later on. Hopefully he kind of eases in and finds his way in the game more.
Yeah. Alexander's asking Tannehill or Trubisky in Superflex. He already has Herbert. He's thinking Tannehill, but I think the Steelers game might be a high scoring, and he wants to know what our thoughts are. We need to pick one because he already has Herbert as a lock.
Of course.
So the Bengals have a really strong offensive line or defensive line, excuse me. Go ahead, Sam. You can jump in first on this one. I think I've done a few.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm big on Mitch this year. I think the Tannehill crash from the playoffs continues into this year, and he loses the job sooner than later. So I think Mitch is going to be a great redemption story this year, and I think he's going to ball out despite the poor offensive line. I think he's mobile enough to to work through any pressure, and they've got a significantly better weapons than he's ever had in Chicago. So there will be people open at least for him to be able to attempt to throw it to. I know it's that again, probably an anti-consensus, but I would go Mitch, especially I think he easily has the higher ceiling, as weird as that is to say. I don't know. I agree. I think that game could be a shootout for sure. So, Mitch between, potentially running touchdowns in and with all those weapons, I think one of Pickens or Claypool goes nuts today too, because Cincinnati's secondary isn't the best. They have some good names, but if Eli Apple's still playing, you pick on him all day long and you're going to have a nice day.
Yeah, I think Trubisky definitely has the ceiling over Tannehill, but Trubisky definitely has the floor under Tannehill. I think Tannehill, is a little safer. Trubisky could turn the ball over like crazy and get you negative points. I mean, that's not out of the question, but he's got crazy weapons. And like Santa said, he's got the mobility to kind of move around. And I think, he's got better weapons than he ever did in Chicago. So I think he's going to be my play too. Tannehill just he's been on the decline.
I'm gonna disagree. I think I might love Tannehill too much, but he's got Henry coming back, and he didn't have Henry for a lot of the time that he looked like he was not playing well. They don't have the offensive weapons in Tennessee that they had last year, which I know sounds like a counterpoint, but that's going to allow any defense to stack the box more so than they have in the past against Henry, which is going to open the field up for the wide receivers there. And I know Treylon Burks hasn't exactly shown well in the preseason, but we saw that last year with Jamar Chase didn't show well in the preseason. And not to say that they're the same, but there is that opportunity there. And we know what Robert Woods is. Robert Woods is a great receiver. He can get open. I think Tannehill is going to do a lot better than people are expecting this season.
And Will, you're going to like this. Alexander's saying, "Go Cowboys."
Little old.
Who's winning that division this year?
I
want to say the Cowboys.
The Giants, because it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah, it is different every year.
Marco's back, and he's asking Mitchell or Hawkinson in flex for a half PPR.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, that's a unique choice.
Mitchell doesn't catch the ball. Wow.
I think I'm going to go Mitchell just because of, I think, a little more guaranteed usage. I love Hawkinson, and I was, big on Hawkinson last year and kind of got burned. I'd kind of wait to see that offense because they got more weapons now too. I think Mitchell's a little more guaranteed for week one. He'll probably get you, 60 yards and a touchdown or something.
Yeah, I was going to say take Mitchell while he's healthy, maybe. But it's certainly close.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the 49ers go a little run heavy in the first game of the season and kind of protect their quarterback a little bit, not make him look bad because the news out of the preseason was not good. So they might go run heavy to kind of hide whatever deficiencies Trey Lance has right now.
We've got Axon Harding, an IDP guy, writer, and fantasy expert. Also, congratulations on your newborn. But he's asking Miles Sanders or Devontae Parker in the flex, and also Parker or Tolbert in another league. And these are full PPR.
Parker in the first one, and then Tolbert in the second. cannot get myself to play Miles Sanders. I don't love Parker. I just don't like going out Sanders at all.
I'm going Parker in both. Definitely not Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Santa. I think Parker in both. They're playing in Miami, and they always lose to Miami. So they're going to be throwing the ball. They'll be behind. Parker's got something to prove because I don't think Miami ever really gave him the opportunity to show how good he was. Yeah, revenge game narrative.
Yeah.
I love those. They're my favorite. They're my favorite.
If you wanted to spread yourself out and not put all your faith in Devontae Parker, I would probably go Miles Sanders and then Devontae Parker over Tolbert.
Any more to add to that? Good. And then Action is telling us thank you. So, what matchups are you guys looking forward to today?
Kansas City, Arizona. Well, as a Chiefs fan, Kansas City, Arizona, and for fantasy, Marquise Brown should light it up. Connor should be heavily involved. Kyler should be healthy and probably running. And, the Chiefs offense, I'm super excited to see how it's going to play out behind Kelsey in the pass game. I'm excited to honestly see if we can utilize any of our running backs. We've got, some decent talent back there. None of them are crazy amazing, but, Clyde and McKinnon and Pacheco's been showing up. So they're all solid, and I'd love to see, us incorporate a running back of some kind.
So as a Cowboys fan, of course, I'm excited to see the Cowboys and the Bucks. One last ride for Tom Brady is going to be interesting with no offensive line on either side of the ball. Football in general, I think it is going to be everybody's consensus pick. We're happy to have it back. I'm really excited to see the Raiders and the Chargers. That should be a really good game. Devontae Adams and Derek Carr back together. Darren Waller. Don't forget about Hunter Renfrow over there. And that really, really good Chargers defense. I'm excited to watch. I want to see Khalil Mack revenge game again. And just that the rest of that Chargers defense is going to be fun to watch this year.
I had
my couple.
yes.
Just my quick matchups. I'm excited for Browns Panthers. I want to see more revenge game narrative, but I'm really excited to see if DJ Moore is elevated with Baker Mayfield. And then I'm excited for the Steelers Bengals game too.
Terrible that you can say elevated with Baker, but it's true.
Sure. Yeah, compared to what he's had, it's a
Right.
huge elevation.
I saw a stat when Baker was traded that DJ had one of the highest deep ball catch percentages, and Baker has one of the highest deep ball throwing percentages. So I don't know how true that was, just because of all
That's
the
sexy.
Yeah.
DJ Moore, wide receiver 1.
Spicy.
Let's
So
go.
there was a question, and they're asking, should he start Zach Ertz since he's questionable, or Irv Smith week 1?
I think Ertz is on a snap count, right?
Yeah. But do you really trust Irv Smith?
I don't know that they officially said that. Yeah. I'm trying to see. I thought the only thing where I saw a snap count was Godwin officially. Ertz is going to play, and I didn't hear necessarily a snap count. Yeah, if the option is Irv Smith, I think you roll.
I think Ertz, honestly.
Yeah.
Even if he was on a snap count.
If he's going to be on a snap count, if he's going to be on one, I think they're going to give him the high value snaps, like especially in the red zone and whatnot. So even if he is on snap count, he's still got way higher touchdown upside, I think, than Irv Smith. So I would still roll Ertz out there.
I mean, you can throw Ertz in your starting, and if you find out that he's not going to go, the Vikings, Irv Smith, are playing the 4:00 game, so you could pivot if you need to. But right. I think we're going to go Ertz here.
So if you guys have any more questions, get them in. We have about 5 minutes to go here. Sean is back with pick 2, Penny, CEH, or Kirk, and this is for his flex position.
Probably half PPR. Yes.
Do what?
That league's probably half PPR if I had to guess.
Okay. Definitely Penny,
Yeah.
I think.
I think Kirk over
Yeah. Yeah. The half
Yeah,
PPR
I'm
is the
fading
decider for me.
CH. Everywhere. So yeah, Penny and Kirk too.
Agree.
And that is all the questions we have as of right now. Is there
We
anything
got 'em
else that you guys
all.
want to touch on?
Don't overreact
Let's
to
see,
week
has there
one.
been any?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, Akers is someone who you definitely need to watch, but like Allen Robinson, definitely wouldn't worry, after seeing that game. But, don't drop any studs after week one if they don't produce. So,
No. Tyler
Trey
Algier is
Sermon's out.
Trey Sermon's out? Oof.
Trey Sermon's out, so that maybe clears that up a little bit with Sanders if you're worried about him.
Yep. Nick Quick's out.
Algier. Wow.
Algier, yeah. D'Angelo Malone, too, for the IDP people. He's out.
Yeah. That's annoying.
Oh, man. Starting quarterback Sam Howell is out this week.
QB1, baby. Rookie QB1. Let's go.
Alexander's asking thoughts on Hall this season.
For who?
Yeah, the
Breece
pause
Hall.
is like Breece. I think Michael Carter is going to be a big thorn in his
I
side
love
this year.
him.
I'm losing Santa.
I don't hear that.
I don't know what you said, Santa.
Great.
You broke up on me. So probably the rest of us
Am
too.
I
I
here?
think what you said was Breece Hall sucks and Michael Carter #1, right? RB1. Michael Carter.
Yeah.
No, I think
I
Carter's
love
going to be
Breece
a thorn.
Hall. Yeah. Unfortunately, he's much worse running back. So it should be Breece Hall season, but we know that coaches do stupid things. So you might be frustrated with him early on. Hopefully he makes a second half push as a clear RB1 there. You might just have to be patient.
You're hoping for Breece a little later on because Michael Carter, they sound like they're going to play him at first, and hopefully Breece's talent wins out. But if he doesn't shine like crazy, they're gonna probably pull the Carter committee, as a tandem a little bit. So you may, if you drafted him high, you probably are gonna have to start him because a lot of people did. But if you got him at your third, fourth running back, hopefully, you're waiting on him a little bit.
Do we see more of a running game this week from the Jets with Joe Flacco starting? And do we think that might benefit Breece week 1?
I think it could. Flacco's not a bad passer, though, and he's got, Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore to throw to, and he's good with more. So I think they'll throw a decent amount. I don't think they'll go run like crazy, but it'll probably, you might see an uptick, I guess. But
I'm worried because I think the Ravens are going to boat race them, and that means they're going to have to throw. And if they consider Carter the passing back, then we could have a really nasty week 1 from Hall, unfortunately.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to ask Rashad Bateman because we haven't really talked much at all about the purple team. What do y'all think about Rashad Bateman as the wide receiver 1 for the purple team?
I'm all in on Bateman.
Me too.
Personally.
Okay.
Big on him this year. Big on him in Dynasty.
Well, guys, I think this is where we're going to wrap it up today. If you guys enjoyed this, please give us a like on Facebook, on YouTube. Also hit that subscribe button for more fantasy content. We're not just IDP. We also do offense as well. So with that being said, will you guys just say where you can find your work and where we can find you on socials? Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, just Dynasty Santa. I pretty much live on Twitter, so DMs are open if anybody ever has any follow-up questions or needs advice. That's where I'm at.
Will?
At FF_skinny chef on Twitter. I don't Twitter as much as Santa does, but if you shoot me a message, I'll get a response to you.
Logan?
Yep. You can find me at Sports Talk Smart. Like Santa said, I'm on Twitter all the time. You hit me with a message, I'll reply. If you're in the IDP Guys subscriber chat, I try to answer those sit starts, trade questions, all that stuff as much as possible. So.
And you can find me at Grant_Gillen. But not too much fantasy tweeting. I'll probably be getting the thumbs ready to start tweeting Fire Joe Woods. So if you want some entertainment on that side of it, give me a follow. But hey, guys, it was a great first show, and we are looking forward to the next 15 or 16 weeks to go. So
we'll be here.
Yeah, absolutely. With that being said, good luck to everybody out there in their fantasy league.